Tell me a little bit about your title and your role.
So I'm the Chief Nursing Officer here at Providence Portland Medical Center. What that means is I have responsibility for all nursing enterprise and patient care at the hospital. Multiple nursing departments. We're a tertiary care center, inner city hospital, and we serve the patient population on the east side of Portland.
What called you to nursing?
As a young teenager, had told my mom I wanted to be a nurse, and she actually said I wasn't nice enough. So I really didn't think much about it after that. When I went to college, I was a biology major. I wanted to be a biology professor. In my junior year, I left college to marry my high school sweetheart, who was in the Marine Corps, thinking I would finish that degree wherever we moved to. And that really wasn't in the cards for me, so he had a year left in the service, and we didn't have really a good profession or income for benefits when he got out of the service. So I went to the community college and said, here are my transcripts. What can I do in a year? And they put me in the LVN, CNA LVN program, licensed vocational nurse. And so that was my first really introduction into nursing and absolutely loved it and never looked back. I got my associate's degree as a registered nurse, then a bachelor's, and then a master's, and then here I am today.
Are you nice enough to be a nurse?
I think I am now, yes. I think I've learned to be nice enough to be a nurse. And I would say I'm also rowdy enough to be a chief nurse.
What was your reaction when mom tells you you're not nice enough to be a nurse?
That was probably a fairly common conversation. I mean, that wasn't an outstanding conversation to me. It was more like, okay, and I moved on to wanting to do something else.
Okay.
We were a pretty straightforward family.
Yeah. Calls them like they see them.
Yes.
What was the most or some of the most challenging experiences you have had?
I was in Texas. I was a new chief nursing officer, and we were really struggling with our workforce. It was that moment of realization that the nursing workforce that I had access to that was coming into my hospital as new graduates weren't necessarily prepared for the job. It's hard to connect where's the breakdown. Is the breakdown in the way that we're onboarding and training people? Is it a cultural difference? You know, there's always a lot of talk about the different cultures in the different generations in healthcare. So I was a brand new chief nurse, and I was looking at my workforce, and I was looking at, had many openings, nursing positions, of course, with a nursing shortage. It was very prevalent in Texas, and was looking at the workforce that I had access to, and I was looking at the success of the new graduate nurses that we were bringing on board for our med-surg areas, and finding them to be very overwhelmed, being very unprepared for the position. And of course, first thinking that, well, I'm the chief nurse, right? I can fix this. And making revisions to our onboarding process, you know, the whole team, leadership team came together. We had nurses involved, and we changed how we brought new nurses on board. We changed how we did their orientation, gave them additional support and mentorship, and it just still wasn't getting us where we needed to be. And so having that first realization that this isn't something that I can fix here in my role, right? This is something that I have to reach out outside of the walls, outside of providing healthcare, into the academic setting, into our nursing school partners that were training these nurses that were coming on board, and learning to create the partnership to say, if we're hiring your nurses, here's what we're seeing as opportunity. How can together, as a professional community, how can we come together and start to work through these challenges and potentially change curriculum, change the way they go through the curriculum so that our nurses were better prepared. And that was really my first aha into the fact that I can't do this in my job.
That's fascinating. So you're able to see that, hey, this problem is just bigger than me. I can't tighten a few bolts and we're done.
Right.
You went upstream.
Right.
Talk to me about the most rewarding experience you've had in nursing.
I think the most rewarding part of being a nurse in my role is there's so many stories where, you know, I get to go round, I get to walk on the units, talk to nurses, and hear what they're doing and how they're engaging their patients. It's so rewarding to be in a profession and an organization where the nurses are driving the best practice and they're advocating for their patients every day. There are just hundreds of stories that I could tell from the 2 years that I've been here.
Is there anything else that you would like to say or share before we sign off?
You know, I learned throughout my career that everybody has the power to make change for the profession. It doesn't matter what job you're in. It doesn't matter the role you hold. Everybody has a beautiful, strong voice that they can use to advocate for their profession from day one of nursing school throughout their career, whatever position they hold. And so don't wait and don't feel as though you are not going to make a difference, because you can. So please use your voice.
Thank you.
Thank you.